Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to my first show in English language. Not because I'm speaking English very well, just because I want to speak with Dr. Semir Osmanagic, the discoverer of Bosnian pyramids. Dr. Semir Osmanagic, it's very nice to having you with me, and thank you for accepting my invitation. Would you at first introduce yourself for the people who don't know you?
Yes, gladly. Thank you very much for having me here at this interview. So my name is Dr. Semir Osmanagic, and in this life experience, I have been researching pyramids and megalithic sites around the world. And I have concluded that almost everything they teach us about the ancient history is wrong. The origin of man, civilizations, and pyramids. Behind me is 20 books about ancient civilizations. My PhD is about the Mayan pyramids in Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, and Belize. I've been traveling extensively on all 6 continents. Back in 2005, I discovered the Bosnian pyramids, established non-profit, non-government foundation under the name Archaeological Park Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun Foundation, and it has become the most active archaeological site in the world. I lived in Houston, Texas since early 90s. And then after 25 years, I moved back to Bosnia. Before the war in Bosnia, 1992, I lived here in Sarajevo. Then I went to United States. My brother was there running business, successful business, which enabled me to finance my trips, my projects, my books. Now I live here in Visoko, in the heart of Bosnia-Herzegovina. I'm a very happy man. We have extremely globally important archaeological discovery, which redefine the purpose of pyramids.
Very nice. What I want to know about you is what was your experience or your own experience? How did you feel as you find the Bosnian pyramids in your own country?
It seems to me that an invisible hand was taking me through the life. I was learning about the pyramids, about the ancient civilization, about different scenarios. In Central America, you have pyramids in the jungles. In Egypt or Peru, they are in deserts. In China, they are covered by soil. So when I first came to the town of Visoko to visit the local museum, I saw this, everybody called it natural hill, because it was covered by forest. But I was looking at it. It had 4 sides, 4 triangular faces, 4 corners. I took compass, it showed me that there is a perfect side orientation to east, west, north, and south. So I immediately knew that this was not a natural hill, but the artificial structure. I climbed the top and I was looking if there is any other regular geometrical hills. And sure enough, just across the valley, there was another one, also covered by forest. The first one, the big one, I named the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, and the second one, the Bosnian Pyramid of the Moon. It turned out that both of them were bigger than the Great Pyramid of Egypt. So while I was standing on the top, I was getting flashes, like a memory. And then I could see that a long time ago, the whole valley was paved. And when the people were coming from the north or from the south, they had to go between two pyramids. And I know that if they come in pairs in Central and South America, they call them pyramids of the sun and the moon. But in my head, I was thinking, well, if I just call them sun and the moon, it will be the same like the others. But if I add Bosnian pyramid of the sun and the moon, everybody would know exactly what we are talking about. And this is how I named them. 6 months later, I realized that there was an astronomical relationship between the shadow of the Bosnian pyramid of the sun, which covers the western side of the Bosnian pyramid of the moon. Completely. The top of the shadow covering the top of the moon pyramid. So the message from the ancients was the rule of the sun and the day is over, the rule of the moon and the night starts.
Wow, it's very interesting and very special. My question is to you, why do you think why you find these pyramids? Maybe is there some connection to your soul, to your person? Is there a role of your incarnation or something like that? What do you think about that?
Everybody has the mission in the life, and we all have potentials, and it is up to us if we're going to fulfill our potentials. In most cases, people don't do that. Why? Because they are afraid. Now, imagine, Yusuf, that assistant from university came to Visoko and saw the pyramid shape. He goes back to Sarajevo telling his professor at the university, oh, I discovered the pyramids. Probably his professor would tell him, hey, don't talk about it. Otherwise, you're going to lose the job. So, and sure enough, in academia, we have a lot of fear. People are not independent. But my case was different. I was not in academia. I did not have a boss. Plus, through my business, I was financially independent. It means I was intellectually independent as well. I could tell exactly what I see. In the past 2 decades, we have done many discoveries, many radiocarbon datings that changed the history, many energy measurements that change the narrative about the Bosnian pyramids. If it was anybody else who was not financially independent, there would be no project and no discovery. Plus, most of the people are programmed thinking that pyramids are tombs for the pharaohs. Well, guess what? In Egypt, I have visited and investigated 155 pyramids, no mummies. So it had to be someone who is deprogrammed and who will recognize the pyramid shape under the layer of trees and greenery. And finally, my experience with my business in the US, I used to have a business for 28 years, rather successful, allowed me to know how to organize the project, marketing, administration, and so on. So with all these skills, it seems that I was ready to do the discovery. And the last part of your question, if I think that it had something to do with the reincarnation, well, if we believe that our souls incarnate life after life, then my answer would be yes.
Thanks. Very nice. You talked about the special of the Bosnian pyramids. Would you tell us maybe more about the special of the Bosnian pyramids?
Yes, gladly. 19 years of the work here produced conclusion that we have at least 6 pyramids, which we named Sun, Moon, Dragon, earth, love, and the sixth pyramid. We have a tumulus, conical artificial hill, and we have a huge network of underground tunnels. Now, we have discovered 7 entrances to those tunnels. We named them Ravne, because this part of Visoko is called Ravne. Ravne 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and KTK tunnels. So this is a huge construction complex. But not only that, we have opened the project not only for classical sciences, archaeology, Egyptology, geology, biology, paleontology, pedology, and so on, geodesy, but also for the high-tech scientific disciplines, geothermal analysis, satellite analysis, georadar analysis. And then plus, we've been inviting experts in energy phenomena, physicists, electrical engineers, sound engineers, telecommunication engineers, medical doctors. And this is what we have concluded. The pyramids in Bosnia were built above energy potent places, and they amplify natural sources of energy. And those energies are measurable. If you can measure them, you can scientifically prove them. For example, under the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun is a huge iron plate. Iron generates electromagnetic field. The pyramid pulls this field, amplifying it. How do we know that? Because we have measured at the base and at the top. At the top, the pyramid strength is 50 times stronger than at the base. Secondly, below the Pyramid of the Sun, we have underground water flow. Water moves, releases negative ions. The pyramid amplifies the concentration of negative ions. How do we know that? Because we have measured using air ion counters, the instruments, and we measure the highest concentration of beneficial negative ions. Number 3, there is a second underground water flow. Between the two, there is a charge, voltage, electricity. The pyramid pulls this electricity, goes through 7 levels of passages, like the spiral, and going through the very top, forming energy beam, which is 28 kilohertz frequency, 4.5 meter radius. It is electrical in nature. As it moves away from the top of the pyramid, it becomes stronger and stronger. In science, this phenomenon is called scalar waves. According to the genius of Nikola Tesla, 125 years back, and the Russian physicists in the last 50 years, scalar waves move quicker than the speed of light. Therefore, they are perfect media to transport the energy, to transport the information. The first potential purpose of the pyramid energy is the communication device. The second one, in the tunnels under the pyramid valley, we have people getting inside, breathing so well. Deeper they go, they breathe better and better. Not very logical, but nothing in Bosnia is logical. People with the respiratory problems, asthma, for example, they breathe so well that after few entrances to the tunnels, they don't need air pump, inhaler, no more. People with a high blood pressure, it gets normalized. People with a high sugar in the blood, it drops. People with the very serious diseases, after they stay for a week or 10 days, they show remarkable improvement of their health. So our second conclusion, the pyramid energy was used to protect what is the most precious to us, and that would be our health. There is a regeneration process happening in the tunnels. Number 3, we are discovering the tunnels with the water. We have analyzed this water. First, conventional analysis, physical, chemical, and microbiological. No viruses, no bacteria, no fungi. pH is perfect, 7.45, like the pH of our blood. And then when we did some more advanced analysis, we realized that this water vibrates high. It has beautiful hexagonal structure with a lot of crystal-like molecular structures. And via what we drink. So our next conclusion was the pyramid energy was used to improve the molecular structure of the water. Number 4, to improve molecular structure of the food. Number 5, to improve our immunity level. Number 6, to improve our blood. Number 7, to develop our spiritual senses. We have 5 physical and 30 spiritual senses, and so on and so forth. So what we bring in the world of science, especially in the pyramid science, is the revolutionary change of the narratives. Pyramids were not built for one dead body, king or the pharaoh, but for the living communities with intention to last thousands of years. So this is what this project brings to the world of science.
Maybe is that the reason why the mainstream don't want to any people know something about that?
Of course, remember Nikola Tesla? He had noble goals to come with the clean energy, unlimited quantities of energy, and free energy. Instead, billionaires like JP Morgan, they purchased all his patents, push him aside, and we have dirty energy, limited quantities, and very expensive. Coal, oil, gas, nuclear. And based on those expensive sources of energy, we have 3,000 super billionaires who own more than 90% of our resources on the planet. At the same time, 90% of the people struggle daily to pay their bills from first to the next first of the month. So it is in the interest of the small elites, as those monsters call themselves. And they own corporation, media, politicians, and so on. And of course, they don't like idea about clean or free energy. And that's what the pyramids are. They are free energy. They improve all what's important in our life, spirituality, for example. Instead, what the mainstream is doing, they add fluoride to our water. United Kingdom, Republic of Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, Chile, Canada, United States. The fluoride has a task to close our pineal gland, to close the window between physical and spiritual aspect. This is just one of the things. There are many others. So the idea is to keep people completely, 100%, in this materialistic world, so they can feed us with the bad news, negative news all the time, so they can instill fear in our life. And with the fear everywhere, they easily control and manipulate humanity. And what we have here in Bosnia, we have huge discovery which redefine history books. We go back not for 5,000 years, we go back for 30,000 years. That's the age of the Bosnian pyramids. Or to be more precise, the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, 29,200 years, plus minus 400 years, according to the radiocarbon dating. And of course, in the world, we can see that many sites, like Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, is between 15 and 18,000 years old. Not 11,600 like Wikipedia claims. Machu Picchu goes back to 54,000 years. Yonaguni monuments near the coast of Japan, it's more than 12,000 years, and so on and so forth. Egyptian pyramids, probably between 30 and 40,000 years. So The history of humanity is not the evolution as they teach us in schools, as all the mainstream scientists claim. The history of humanity is a cycle after cycle after cycle. In the last 100,000 years, we have had at least 5 civilizational cycluses. And Bosnian pyramids, like many other sites in the world, belong to one of the previous cycluses. So what we bring to the world is of extreme importance. And of course, the system that own all the resources, media, education, and, scientific institutes, archaeological departments, and so on, universities, they don't want this new knowledge to become mainstream. However, people are becoming hugely aware that what they teach us in schools is wrong. So eventually, I think the truth will coming to the surface.
Thank you so much. I think like you. But my question to you is, it's the normality, maybe. How do you feel in this situation? You are the discoverer of the greatest pyramid of the earth, and the mainstream doesn't protect you. How do you feel in this situation? I would know.
This is how I feel, Yusuf. I am the happiest man in the world. First of all, I'm personally happy in my marriage. I moved here in Visoko, purchased 20,000 square meters, built a beautiful house, sold my business in Houston. I have forest around me. I have fruit trees around me. I have pyramid water that I drink. I have my juice from my organic fruits. So what I get inside my body is really very positive. Just 100 meters from my home is the entrance to the tunnels and most beautiful park that we built. So all the happenings, visitors, guests, volunteers, my employees, media, they are a couple of 100 meters from my place. I don't need to drive to the big city to go to the traffic, not finding parking lots, and being exposed to the stress. Nothing of that is present in my life. So, like I said, I'm very happy. Secondly, I have the biggest discovery ever. I'm aware of that. The ancients who built those pyramids, they had the abilities to maneuver with tens of millions tons of material. They were applying elements of sacred geometry in Bosnian pyramids, equilateral triangles, 3 major pyramids, sun, moon, dragon, they form equilateral triangle. Then we have golden section, then we have Fibonacci spiral, and so on and so forth. So it's a huge discovery, astronomical features and so on. And the next thing, when you ask me, how do I feel that mainstream is not accepted yet? Well, I'm very well aware that when you come with the new ideas, there are always obstacles, there is always resistance. Bigger the ideas, bigger the resistance. In our case, this is the biggest discovery and the biggest resistance. And when you see that many people who have positions in the science, I don't even call them scientists, people like Zahi Hawass in Egypt, and some people who are having positions in United Kingdom, in France, in Germany, in Poland, in Croatia, in Bosnia, in United States, even in Egypt. When you say how much they are against this project, hey, they claim that in remote hills of Bosnia there are no pyramids. So why do you put so much effort to stop the project? Why do you send National Geographic to try to show that there is nothing there? Why do you use all these resources like Wikipedia and Encyclopedia Britannica and Smithsonian and National Geographic sites to talk bad about our project? They put a lot of effort and a lot of energy and a lot of time to try to stop it, which automatically means that we are on something really big. In 2008, we had 10,000 visitors here in Bosnia. In 2018, we had 40,000 visitors. In 2023, last year, we had 195,000 visitors. In this year, based on first 6 months, we're going to have 250,000 visitors, 250,000. In a few years, 500,000. In 10 years, 1 million. People who are supposed to come here, they will come. They will feel the benefits of the pyramid energy. So do you think that I care what no-sayers or skeptics or people who are against and they never came here? You think that I really care what they say? They are irrelevant.
What I asked myself is, there was the people from mainstream with you, and they interviewed you too. My question is, why did you give them this interview? Why did you cooperate with the mainstream?
Listen, you never know how it's going to turn out, what they're going to put at the end, what kind of comments they're going to have, how they're going to edit, what they're going to remove from the interview. Well, my philosophy is very simple. People want to talk to me, I talk to them. It doesn't matter if it is ABC from the US who did a good job, if it is BBC who did lousy job, if it is National Geographic, once it was good, once it was bad. If it is Discovery Channel, very good show. If it is History Channel, good shows. Science channels, good shows. CBS, sometimes good, sometimes they laugh at me. So you never know how it goes with the big TVs. ZF, bad, and stuff like that. So I don't really care. People want to talk to me, I talk to them. And I don't care if it is big media or small media. So I say what I have to say.
Nice. Very nice. Thank you. The other question, do you have some idea how could people change this situation? You know, the mainstream are against this project, and in the most place on the world don't know the people something about this project. How could we change this situation? Have you an idea?
Well, we have been changing situation every day and every year. You know, 20 years ago, nobody knew that those pyramids existed. And now still, you know, in every corner of our planet, people talk about it. Not billions of people, not hundreds of millions, but a few millions for sure, yes, you know. So people have heard Bosnian pyramids once or twice, some of them 5 times, some of them like our volunteers. And we have had 3,750 volunteers from 64 countries and 6 continents in the last 15 years. That's a huge power, you know. People come, they become our ambassadors, and they come back every year. A lot of our visitors, they keep coming back, and then they bring their friends, families, groups. This is how it goes. So the first step is information. People hear about this. Second one, they come, they see for themselves, they talk. But then some of them, like for example yourself, then you do a little interview. It goes on YouTube. It goes on social media. Sometimes it ends up with the televisions. In June, I was doing 3 different documentaries. We had Dutch people, we had American documentary, and just today I was doing a documentary for the German girl. And you know, all these different venues, you know, information are going out. So eventually they'll come to those who are ready to listen. But if you ask me how we change the power of the mainstream, because it's not only our project that's been affected, it's many other projects. I mean, Wikipedia, when it started, it was people's encyclopedia. But once it has become prominent years ago, it was taken over by intelligence services, the biggest American intelligence services, because they want to take people in a certain direction. So 80% of information there is generally accepted knowledge, but 10 to 20% is highly controlled. And those are information from astronomy, NASA, physics, biology, origin of man, archaeology, history, and so on. So what can we do about it? Well, we need to build a better world where there is no such unfair distribution of the resources. How come one person can have $200 billion? It should not be the case. How come our civilizations, our countries are spending thousands, billions of dollars on military, and at the same time, every 3 seconds, one child dies from hunger? As you and I talk, one child just died in Niger, another one in Nigeria, another one in Togo, another one in Liberia, another one in Sudan, another one in South Sudan, another one in Ethiopia, another one in Somalia, another one in Yemen, another one in Bangladesh. So as I'm talking, child after child is dead. If you used only 10% of the military expenses, the hunger would be erased forever. What kind of civilization are we? Civilization with the unfair distribution of wealth and resources and information. What we need true equality. We need true history. So, it's not little question what you can do about the Bosnian pyramids and make them accepted. It's globally important question. When will majority of people, normal people, good intentional people like you and I, will have a chance to live in one fair society, not extremes? Today, we have leftists, fascists, we have communists, we have all this stuff. We don't need that. We need different social organization. And then people will be applying the real science, not politics in science, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. So yeah, the answer is really much wider than a simple judgment, okay, Bosnian pyramids will be accepted by mainstream science. The problem with the Bosnian pyramids is the consequences. First pyramids in Europe, the biggest on the planet, the oldest on the planet. Humanity is not 5,000, 6,000 years from Sumer, but tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands. There are places around the planet clearly not built by humans. So we have so many elements that change what we are taught in schools.
Yes, all what you told, it's the reason why so many people, which I know here in Germany, in Austria, and some other countries are doing so much for changing the world. Myself too, I thought so much about how people could change systematically the world or the systems in those we live. I'm with this intention. I'm going on in my way. There is so many people with this intention, and I think we could get together and go on this way and make the better and then make the world a better world.
Yes, we can. People think, okay, who am I to make a change? I'm just a one man, one person. I'm helpless. But wait a minute. If we light the candle from inside, we have one candle. You and I, 2. All our friends, 50. Our city, 500,000. Several countries, hundreds of millions. And then we come to billions. Billion lights billion candles. It means the darkness is gone and we have the light. This is the power of us, majority.
Yes, and I think our power is so much stronger than the power of the people who won't make the people down do something what they do, you know. Our power is so much stronger.
Yes.
It's the
It
power
is.
of love. It's the power of humanity.
Exactly. I mean, these are basic features of us humans. We need the hope. We need a good relationship. With the norm, we need the normal standard of living. You know, we can share, we can give, we can live fulfilled lives. We can be happy. We can love and be loved. This is what we need. Unfortunately, the Western consumerism in last 120, 150 years made people thinking, no. I need to have a good job, a lot of money. With a lot of money, I can afford buying a big house, buying a big car, buying this, buying that. But then eventually we realized every time we have a little bit space, we can get a bigger loan, so I can get a bigger house, and I can show my neighbor that I'm a little bit richer. But it doesn't make really sense. It doesn't make us happy, because in those families you can see that wife and the husband, they don't talk, they don't love each other, they have, other major problems. It's not about the money, it's not about the materialistic things. It is really about happiness. And when we think about the purpose of life, let me mention Nikola Tesla a second time. Nikola Tesla said, if you want to discover the secrets of the universe, you need to view it through the energy, frequency, and vibration. And guess what? Our project in Bosnia is not the archaeological project. Our project is about the energy, because pyramids are energy amplifiers. Our project is about very specific frequencies that we measure, and our project is about the vibration. If we drink high vibration water, we will vibrate higher. If we drink the garbage that they do for us in all our countries, adding chloride, poison, fluoride, poison, traces of heavy metals, poison, traces of plastic, the water goes through plastic pipes. These are all poisons. They make us sick. Our water is energetically dead, vibrate very, very low. So it's about vibration. Our food, the Western world, GMO food, that's the garbage, vibrates very low, plus it affects our DNA. We need organic food. They feed us with the news, always bad news about the wars, about the fires, about the famine, about the poor, this. I mean, we need some positive information, and we will have them once we become, again, social beings. So, as you can see, there is an option for a better, more humane world. And if we are to wait for the governments to change the situation for the better, well, it won't happen. The governments, thousands of years, they were monarchs, they were kings or pharaohs or queens or shah and so on. They were always thinking about themselves, not about us people. And it's been like that. 5,000 Persia and Babylon, from 2,000 ancient Romans, from medieval, Western European states, Spain and Portugal and Holland and Belgium and France and UK and US and so. So they don't care about us. So we simply need to take destiny into our hands. We need to change ourselves. We need to become aware of our physical and spiritual aspect. And once we put those two aspects in balance, then why should we care what the politicians do or say? And once politicians realized that there are no people to follow them like sheep, without them or without us, they will probably leave the politics, and the politics would become what its original purpose: service to us, normal people.
Yes. So I told you that I thought so much about changing the world in outside the political system, financial system, and after so many years, I came to the point. I tried it myself. I changed myself,
That's
and
the only thing.
yeah, it's the matter. I think the world wouldn't change if the people doesn't change. If the people change themselves, the world would change automatically. And you want to say something?
Yes, that was my conclusion also. When I was in my 20s, in my first book, I wanted to change the world, but nobody listened. Now, when I'm getting a little bit older and mature, I have changed myself, and that way I can influence people around me. Once they see me, they feel the energy, they feel the vibration, they can join it. And so we start changing our inner circles by building the site in Bosnia, which is not only archaeological, it is archaeological and scientific and energy aspect and spiritual and healing aspect. Then we purchased 100,000 square meters of swampy, muddy, neglected land, turned it into one of the most beautiful parks in Europe, where we have the culture and festivities and festivals and concerts, book promotions, and yoga and meditation and sport events, recreation. So now all of a sudden we have built this cultural oasis of peace, serenity, freedom. So in this oasis, it's about 200,000 square meters. This is where we actually have changed our world here. Whoever comes there, they said, okay, I feel something different. It's different energy than in the cities. Of course, it's different energy because it's different intentions. So imagine 20 places like this in small Bosnia, 50 in Serbia or Croatia, 100 in Germany, 500 in the US. Without the government money, we change the world. So it's up to us.
Yes. I was 2 times in the Bosnian pyramids, and I felt that too. That's some special area. You could maybe tell us more about this area which you and your people create. But the people are different too. My question to you is, this pyramids, has the pyramid some special effect on the consciousness of the people?
My answer is yes. And I'll tell you why. People who work for us, for example, our official guides, usually when we have an invitation for people to apply for the job, 100 people apply, we choose about 15 for the training, and only 4 or 5 of them pass the course. And people who's been coming before, who feel this place, who like the place, they are the ones who really pass, because you can see that they don't see this as a job opportunity, but this is a wonderful place to be present, to be in communication with the guests and so on. Even our workers, diggers, they're very nice people, they respect everything we do. So these are our employees. Then volunteers, special kind of people. They are coming from so many different countries, different educational background, different age. They come from Peru and New Zealand and Korea, South Korea and China and all European countries and Canada. When I ask them why you are here, they all tell me the same thing. They said, when I first heard about the Bosnian pyramids, I felt the inner call that I have to go there. So yes, I think it has something to do with the special vibrations. coming from the pyramids. And, it can be felt in our circle. There is a special energy. Somehow people are much more open. They talk to each other. They hug each other. They are, it's different than what we have today as the new Western values: transhumanism, upgraded human, biochip, GMO food, digital money, digital central banks, pedophiles being liberated, and so on. These are not my values. I think the future of humanity is going back to the human in us, is going back to the harmony among us and harmony with the nature.
Yes, it's not my value too. And I like this place so much because maybe it's an advantage that the mainstream don't talk positive about this area, and the people who believe on mainstream doesn't come to this place, and the people who coming there, they are very, very special, they are an other consciousness, and it's very, very, very different to other places which I was in my life. And that's the reason why I want to bring the people to Bosnia and Bosnian pyramids too. We planned a trip, a tour to Bosnian pyramids from September 15th to 21st. And I hope we meet you there.
Wonderful. I will be the whole September in Visoko, so you are very welcome.
Oh, nice. It was very nice to meet you there.
That's good.
I'm so thankful for this interview with you. I think we could talk longer than this 1 hour, but maybe another time, personally in Visoko by the pyramids.
Yes, gladly. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you.